Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is going to be the last video for this year, 2025. The next video will be out in 2026, next weekend. I first want to thank everyone who's been watching my videos and subscribing to them and follow this channel. Really appreciate. Hope everyone had a good year. Market has done reasonably well, other than the beginning of the year. We had a pretty big tumble here, but since then we have been, doing okay. We have a nice run from April to early October, and from there we had a 3 weeks down, and then we've been bouncing back. But I would say this bounce has been weak so far. It took 3 weeks to go down, but it's been 5 weeks since the bottom there. It hasn't come back to new high, so from that perspective is a little bit weak. Okay, this is Nasdaq. So this week we are up 1.2%. It is closing out the year, I believe up 22% from the bottom, from last year. From the last year. So overall, it did have a really good year. Again, I hope you guys did well this year. And if you follow my channel, I do share a lot of my trades, and I do trade a lot. That's my style. I'm more diversified than most people. I buy into lots of stocks, and I do leverage at times. So that's how I compensate for some of the diversification. In general, I'm a momentum trader, so I follow where the momentum is. I do trade daily if needed be, and I do put in my stop loss, before I buy into the position every single time. That's to help manage risk, so that when I'm wrong, I'm not going to be wrong a lot, right? Of course, with that, it comes the responsibility of dealing with getting stop out for very short term, and maybe that's a shakeout, and you have to buy back in right away in those scenarios. So yeah, in short, that's my style of trading. If you enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up for this year. I really appreciate that. Hopefully continue to produce great quality videos going into 2026. Some say 2026 won't be as good in the first half. We'll see. There is a lot of bullishness right now going into end of the year and going into the new year. So I don't like when the general analysts, a lot of them are too bullish. We are swinging towards one side of the boat, and that could become problems. Okay, so I do expect some, into the new year, we will see another, probably some sort of like pullback or some sort. Like, it's not going to be as smooth. I think most people make the most money from April to early October, and even this last few weeks, even though some of the stocks have bounced back, a lot of the AI and tech stocks haven't bounced back much. So that's another problem. Okay, so that's another story. Anyhow, this is Nasdaq. Let's jump to the daily chart. Again, we see this pullback recently. We bounced back. This one looks a little bit more weaker than the other index because it hasn't quite cleared the top channel line here. The bottom channel line is also coming up. We're forming a pendant formation. We could come back down, who knows, in the new year. But right now, it's just not, going through this line. And we had a 5-6 days, I think, run here, and it couldn't come back to the previous high as well. So that is not good. And then there's this high there too. So from the Nasdaq perspective, it's definitely weak. Okay, from that perspective. We'll take a quick look at the RS line, relative strength line here. You see Nasdaq was bouncing for 5 sessions in a row, but look at the relative strength line. It did not perform well compared to S&P. It just kind of stagnant there, and we didn't even come back to this previous high here, right here at this level, and then here obviously much higher at that level as well. So yeah, so again, it's just not the weak. The bounce is very weak in this, from this perspective. Here's S&P chart, very similar. The one difference you will see here is that it actually did make new closing high this week. So that is a outperformer compared to Nasdaq. And for the year, it is up 17%. Again, they all have the very similar story. If you were investing between April and early October, you probably did well Most stocks were up during that time. And again, recently we have a little bit more turbulence. But again, S&P are able to show their strength by making new closing high this week. Now it's not up a lot, so it just barely came out Thursday and Friday. So we'll see if this momentum will continue to carry through the last few sessions of the year and into the new year. So most likely we won't really know what's going to happen until probably the second week of January. So just something to be aware of. But at least this is telling us, the market wants to go higher. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a stronger rally at the beginning of the year. Again, if the people who are going to sell based on tax deferral because they had a good gain in 2025 and now they're basically postponing it to 2027 for the tax purpose, by selling in the new year on non-registered accounts, they can defer that tax. So we'll see how much of that selling is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, we could see a melt up from here because if no one's going to sell, things can be even stronger in that sense, right? But again, I do think there will be a little bit of a sell off there. We'll see. And just with that being said, I think part of the selling recently has been due to probably taxable accounts, so they can sell earlier without incurring that tax, right? So that's why in December and even November we have been sluggish, right? So here's Dow Jones Industrial chart, weekly chart here. Again, we see a similar pullback recently. However, Dow Jones has been acting slightly stronger because not only it make a new high 2 weeks ago, but it also now make a new closing high this week. So again, so that's a good sign. S&P and Dow both showing strength right now. So here's the daily chart. You can draw this top channel line here. We did surpass it 2 weeks ago. Now we're coming back to the highs again. So that looks really good. For Russell, we're seeing again similar pattern here for the year between April and October. We probably did pretty well. We had this huge pullback here in October, and then we bounce back from there. And then we make a new high 2 weeks ago, just like Dow did. And we pull back the next week. And then right now, this week, we barely make any gain. So that is a little bit disappointing. Consider we have many updates here. However, it's still, looking okay. It's still above the previous buy point here. On the daily chart, again, we can draw that and you can see more clearly here. We came out 2 weeks ago, but then we pulled back. And this time, this is the only problem with Russell, is that it couldn't go up higher. We should have bounced back to the previous high here, but it didn't. And then now we're coming back down. So again, relative strength has been going down. You can see that right here. So, in short, S&P Dow is doing slightly better, showing strength, close near the highs, if not new highs. And then we have Nasdaq and Russell kind of taking a back seat, which is not good for, in that sense, because they usually do represent, small cap usually represent, more speculative growth stocks, and Nasdaq usually represent a lot of high beta growth tech stocks as well. So something to be mindful going into the new year. Yeah. So this page from the IBD newspaper, and here at the bottom we show the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline daily line right here, and we can see we are hovering near, close to the highs here. Which is kind of coincide with the index itself of S&P 500. So that's pretty good. That's pretty normal. That looks, not bad at all. But for the Nasdaq, down here, we can see this advanced decline line is having trouble to come back to this previous high right here. So definitely a lot weaker. So maybe the broad-based strength is not there in Nasdaq at all right now. Here's FFTY, Innovator IBD 50 ETF, showing pretty good strength this week. We're able to clear, the recent resistance level here, and then we jump back to the red line, which is the 10-week moving average. So it was up 3% this week. On the daily chart, you probably can see a better improvement in the picture. We came down really hard, and then we found this bottom here, higher low, higher highs. No, higher lows, sorry. This is a low here, higher lows. And then we've been bouncing back so far. And this 50-day moving average it is right now acting as resistance. But so far, this index has not, kind of reverse and go down lower, right? So that's the good news. Instead, it's hovering near this red line, basically finding support at this level. And if we can plow through this, then we could have a very good continual strength and momentum in the IBD 50. So that's also very important. And obviously, if that happens, make sure you follow the IB 50 and see what stocks are in that list. In general, that will be good news for leading growth stocks. So so if this top 50 stocks can do well, probably other growth stocks will also follow the same trend. So for the week, we have 4 days of trading, and Wednesday 24th was half day of trading, and Friday 26th was really mute volume as well. IBD is still recommending a 60 to 80% allocation. Overall for the week, we're seeing a little bit more accumulation than distribution here, just a little bit more in terms of number of stocks. Industry group a little bit weaker at the beginning, and it did close Friday with slightly positive outpacing accumulation, outpacing distribution. On the sector side, again, we're not seeing too much movement. Most of it are neutral, meaning for every stock that were up on accumulation, there was some stock down on distribution. So the numbers are pretty flat, single digits by the end of the week. So again, not much happening. Do not take whatever happened this week and probably next week as well as any sign of movement, just because the volume is so low and, it's not going to matter much. On the growth stocks list, which we'll cover at the end of this video, the second part of this video here, it'll be there's more downtrend stocks at this moment. Just again, we're even, right? 195 to 181, 193 to 185, 179 to 186. This is around the 50% mark. So overall, it's still healthy. There's still lots of stocks in uptrend. So so that's it. Yeah. So what that means is, if you already holding some stocks, it's probably that in uptrend, it's probably still okay to keep holding them, because the market is still showing strength in those uptrend stocks. But if it's a new stock, you may not want to jump into it too big, because right now the trend seems to be just about even for either up or down. So there's some risk there for sure. We want to talk about the US dollar. This UUP in ETF here. It did suffer a big drop early this week. I'm not sure what is the main reason here, but that is a pretty big drop. Not a good thing for US dollar. Here's the gold price. However, gold price make a new high. It broke out on the same day the US dollar dropped. You can see it break out pretty strong. It gap up. Next day fall through. The third day, it just kind of holding pretty tight here. And then on Friday, we able to gap up again and make a new high. So very strong action on gold as well as silver as well. Look at silver. It's starting to do a little bit of a climax run here. It looks like it's starting to accelerate at a faster pace. So that's something to watch out for. Copper also make a huge move this week. You can see it's starting to break out of this recent tightness here, and now it jumped really big on Friday. So very strong action as well. Here's WenX Semiconductor SMH. You can see we did bounce back this week. We're still kind of under this trend line here, upper channel line. So but it looks a lot better because we are close to the top here. So it could possibly work, and we just need to see if this can follow through here. Right now, it's getting closer, but on the daily chart you can see it's still not that. It's not like at the line or anything. So but it looks a lot better. We'll see if this can continue. Again, I don't like the pace of how you have 6 trading days up, but it barely recover the whole thing. Generally, you want to see the opposite, right? Because this one came down in 5 days. Now it's been 6 days and it hasn't recovered. So the pace of bouncing is just much slower than the pace of going down. So that's the only problem. Here's an NVIDIA chart, NVIDIA weekly, looking pretty good. It's starting to bounce back above the red line right here. So for this week, it's able to make progress after, many weeks at below that red line, right? So the 10-week moving average, and now this base is starting to form, and it's starting to look better. It doesn't mean it's gonna work 100% for sure. We don't know. It's all about managing risk. But at least this week, on Tuesday, yeah, it came out pretty strong. Wednesday, holding really tight. Friday, we're able to make new highs. So, by definition, this is making higher highs, and therefore, the momentum is on the uptrend now, and it looks pretty steep so far. Look at this uptrend line I can draw from the lower channel line. So if it does continue that momentum, yeah, we could be coming back to the previous high very fast if that's the trend line. So we'll hope to see that. Here's AMD. AMD is still not moving much. Here's TSM. TSM was also trying to bounce back right now. So again, this looked like a pretty strong momentum line right there on the uptrend side. Broadcom is still having trouble here, still below the 10-day. Looking at the software group here, IGV is the ETF. Unfortunately, this one also doesn't look that good. It's still below the red line. And with the week's, bounce, 4 or 5 days on Nasdaq, we're not seeing the strength we want to see. And this also, tell us like that, again, we're not seeing the broad-based strength as well. So this is, not looking good. On the daily chart, you can clearly see that red line as the resistance, coming down, and, it just couldn't get through that line. So that's not good. Now we are following this pendant formation. It looks like we will break out of this pendant formation very soon, whether it'll go down or whether it'll go up. So we'll see what happens next. Here's Microsoft chart again, not moving much at all, like even with the bounce in the Nasdaq. So again, a lot of these stocks are just not moving, and that is a little bit, one should be more cautious about this, as the relative strength are not there. Google has bounced back above the short-term 10-day. However, it has made no further progress since that. So that is also a little bit of a concern. Here's Meta. Meta also not doing well. It's just stuck below this black line, and the red line is coming down. It's just not having lots of movement at this moment. Amazon also it has bounced back again above the 10-day and short-term moving average, but it hasn't made much progress the last 2 sessions since it bounced back. Now it can still work. It's just usually I like to see it move faster than that, but given the holiday season, maybe I'll make a move in the new year or something. Here's Palantir. We came out with this handle right there, so it looks good. Then we reverse. Then we holding tight here, still looks good, but then Friday we break down. So again, this stock is still looking like, it's still having some problems. However, the uptrend line at the lower channel line is looking pretty good. So hopefully, with this test on Friday, there's probably some shakeout. But if it bounce back right away, that'll be a good sign. But again, if it does break through that, then probably doesn't look as good. Apple also having trouble coming back up. We have Tesla making a really good move more than a week ago. Right, this is a nice breakout from the trend line, but then it very quickly stalled near the 500 mark, and we come back again to the 10-day moving average. So we should find support right here. If we don't, then yeah, we could be maybe having more of a pullback, bigger pullback. Netflix is still under a tremendous steep downtrend line here. Again, even the 10-day cannot surpass this week. That's really bad. I'm gonna look at the growth stocks right now that I follow. At the top here, number 1, PAX, the 260% gain since October 10, 2025. It's making a new high right now. This is in the long-term care. So for now, I'm gonna show my markup so you can see how I trade. The green marks are where I usually buy and add positions, and then the pink marks are where I usually have to sell something. And then if we have red marks, that's usually when I have sold the whole position. and a lot of time I will get back in. So again, I'm following the momentum. So this chart has been very strong. I missed the initial run after the earnings here. This pulls back nicely to the green line, which is the 10-day moving average. And so far, recently, it has not come back down to it. And every time it has bounced, including Friday, making a new high. This is definitely a very strong leader at this moment. Continue to hit new highs. This is structured therapeutic GPCR. This one had a huge run here, probably due to some news I don't remember. Then it pulled back from that, and so far it's, again, you can see the green line right here. It's been showing very strong action around that line, finding support. It is pulling back slightly right now after a big day on Tuesday. So, and the volume is going down, so which indicates less people want to sell. So we should be seeing a bounce soon along this 10-day again if we do find support there. So that one was ranked number 4. I'm going to try to group all the health stocks first, just because it just kind of makes more sense to do it together. Next we have SNDX. This is Syndax Pharmaceutical. This one is a little bit choppy. You can see trading this hasn't been easy. Lots of in and out, so that's the problem with this one. It's a lower price stock, so that's probably why it's so choppy. But nonetheless, it has a very strong momentum on the 10-day moving average around there. This is Esperion Therapeutics, ESPR. I've been trading this quite a while. This is a nice run here. Then we start to form this formation here. Then we're starting to run again. So far, this run has been weaker. Again, this is a $4 stock, so that explains the volatility as well. But yeah, right now it's been finding support so far this last 4 or 5 sessions. So we'll see. Volume has been lower, much lower on the selling side, and we see lots of like high volume on the up days here. So hopefully this will eventually make another big move. Then we have ATEC and Iowa here, also doing well. Iowa making new high. LQDA is currently in a slightly pullback mode. And then down here we have AVDL. I think that one has been bought out. INDV, Ethical Drugs, still doing well. And we have GCOs here, medical products, doing well as well. Here, rank number 2 is SGML. This is metal mining ores in lithium, I believe. Yes, lithium. And it's been doing really well. Again, a little bit choppy. You can see there's lots of trading in and out here, lots of pullbacks. But it seems to make higher highs, and it broke through this resistance level. And then we went higher. And now Friday, it was able to, again, before that, it was trying to pull back again. It didn't pull back to the green line. The slope is really strong right now. So making new high on Friday. Let's look at SQM first, just because that is in the agriculture group. Fertilizer. This is also doing really well. Nice run right here. Not much of a pullback to 10-day, and then we have our first pullback to 10-day right there, and then that gives us another opportunity to get in, and you can see the bounce here looking pretty good. It's been continued to fall through and make new highs almost every day. Yeah, very strong action right now. Next, we have a lot of like gold and silver stocks here, all gold here, making new high. We have PAS, HLAG here. We have IAG here as well. This is Aura Minerals. Really nice chart. I mean, this is, I would say as good as it gets. Like, it's pretty nice. Like, it didn't even come to 10-day all this time right here. And then Friday we're able to fall through also, again, making new high. This one's Hecla Mining. HL is the symbol. This one, again, came out right here and then pulled back right here. And then since then, even Friday, it didn't come all the way back down to the green line, and then it bounced. So hopefully this can also continue to new high after. Next, we have Pan American Silver. Again, silver stock also acting really strong. Look at this. Never touched the green line. So it shows how strong this is currently acting. Then we have AG, First Majestic Silver. This one is not as strong as past, but it still looks pretty good. Again, a little bit more volatile as it's under $20 stock. But overall, it's trying to come back up again and potentially make new high. Despite Nasdaq not the strongest, but we're still seeing some good tech growth stocks at the top here. We have Lumentum, we have SNDK in the data storage, we have TSCM in the chip semiconductor, Again, we have WDC data storage, MU data storage. We have CN in the telecom. Then we have Form, C1, and TER here. So yeah, not bad. So here's momentum chart. I mean, this one has been running for a while now. This is probably one of the strongest tech stock right now in the last few months. It's been running along this 10-day, then it went up to that 10-day here, that slope. Then we had this huge pullback, and then it bounced back and run again. Right now it's, it's kind of holding sideways pattern while the 10-day is catching up, but this is the slope right now. Very strong. Same thing with CN. This one also had been running for a while. And then we had this huge pullback correction here. Then we bounced back. And then we had another run here. Then we had this pullback. So it hasn't been easy to hold if you are a position trader. And then here, it bounced back again. And the 10-day, it's just going sideways right now. So it looks pretty good instead of coming back down. So this is SanDisk. Again, not very strong run here. Then we have this huge pullback. Then we get a little bit more choppy here, but overall we are moving back up right now, and looks like it's going sideways as this 10 days building the right side of the base. This is Western Digital, also very choppy. You can see based on the number of trades I had to make here, very choppy, in and out, not making any money for me. So this one is definitely a lot weaker than SanDisk. MU, again, this is also been running for a long time. This group has been doing really well, and right now it's bouncing really strong. Like, look at this, right, from this high here. It's been bouncing pretty strong. Yeah, looking pretty good at this moment. And just to finish off this group data storage, Seagate Technology also not making much move right now. It's been, so that tells me that, some of these stocks are no longer following the group, because they're just, relative strength has been going down. It's not acting as it should anymore. So whether we have top out, it's possible. Like this whole group eventually can top out. So that's something to be aware of. Here's Taiwan Semiconductor, one of the chip area. It's been pulling back and then bounced back, and then now we pull back. Right now it bounced back again. It's holding pretty good above the 10 days, so we'll see if this can work. If this bounce back will happen, actually turn out to new high, we'll see. This is Form Factor. Built a nice base. This one is a little bit choppy, but it pulled back right here. Then we're starting to bounce back. Again, it's going sideways instead of coming back down, so that's a good thing. So we'll see if this can bounce here and make new high. Teradyne, this one also has a nice up run. Then we pull back pretty strong and then go back up, make new high, and then now we're bouncing again. Again, I don't want to say it's negative just because it's not moving up, fast enough, but it is a caution, right? So I'm not saying this won't work. It could work, but it's just like I don't like when it takes 6 sessions and it barely moved, that much compared to the 4-5 day it went down. Yeah. So we don't have many banks or financials at the top here. We have BBAR here, foreign bank, but then we have NWA here. So again, not very strong. In terms of leadership, it's not the strongest. And with the Russell acting a little bit weaker lately this last week, that also didn't help them at all. On the industrial side, we have Cohere here. Again, we don't see many industrials. Most of them has dropped. We have CNX, kind of more aluminum related, so that's metal related. But yeah, let's take a look here. So this one has a nice run. Then we had this huge pullback. Then we had another nice run, and then we had a recent pullback. And right now it's bouncing back, which is good because it didn't fall back to the 10-day. It's just holding sideways. So again, some of these stocks are doing that, these leaders. So, but I'd rather see it continue to bounce, right? But it's not doing that right now. So whether this has already topped here, is possible. So that's why I said the next move can be very important for some of these leaders. So we'll have to see what happens if it decisively break below those short-term moving average. For retail, again, not too much representation at the top here. We have Real and ACVA. So this one bounced back on earnings here, pull back from there. Then it traded very tightly. So this is an example of how the stock traded tightly, but it did eventually move. And now the 10-day slope is at this angle. And it looks pretty good. We found support there. Here's ACV auctions. It's still kind of going sideways. This is the $8 stock. Previously, it has a nice run. It came up to this red line, 50-day. It's finding resistance around that level. So, but it's going sideways, right? So it's not like doing anything harmful. So we can break out of this area. That would be really nice. Then we can maybe head back to the black line here, 200-day moving average. So that's essentially the top 30 stocks. Feel free to continue looking at the rest of these stocks. I'll browse through here so you can, pause it and take a look if any of the stock interests you. But for now, I'll just mention the ones that are still making new high here. XPEL in the auto truck replace parts here. We have AU in the mining gold, Rand Gold making new high. We have ERO in the mining metal ore making new high. BVN, NEM, again, a lot of gold, silver stocks making new high. Barclay is one in the financial area making new high here. BCS. Then we scroll down here with AGI, another gold stock making new high. WPM making new high. And then we have another bank stock, UBS making new high. AMG in finance investment management making new high. Next we have FSSM in the gold silver area. KGC, another gold. NWG, this is money center banks. SAN, another banks money center. So you see a pattern here, which group is doing really well. We have HSBC making new high. We have Intel making software financial new high here. SCCO mining metal ores. EVR in the investment banker group. Assure, this is computer software enterprise making new high. Zeta also making new high in the database software area. UL in the food package area making new recent high. We have Nasdaq here in the financial service area making new high. HWM in the aerospace defense making new high. Charles Schwab, another finance investment broker making new high. Waste management in the pollution control making new high. SPGI, commercial service market research. BAC, Bank of America, another bank money center. We have Visa also making new high. MCO in the commercial market research. Then we have GE, diversified operations. So I think that's pretty much it. As we come down here, most of them are in downtrend. Again, overall, the market is not doing much. At least this week, I didn't see that much of a movement. But again, the strongest stocks are at the top here. They will continue to run if the market can continue to rally. And these are already, this list is since October 10th. So basically, since the earnings have started, most of these stocks will continue to run until the next earnings in January, late January, or whenever their earnings are. So I usually just kind of focus on the top now, right? Top 30, top 50, or even top 100. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a happy new year. We'll see you in 2026. Again, if you enjoy this video and any of the videos I post, please like or subscribe. It will, give me a lot of more engagement that will bring YouTube algorithm to my videos. I have produced a lot of videos, but I really feel like my effort hasn't been deserved to be seen by all. So I would appreciate if you can help support me. Thank you very much. And again, have a very happy new year. We'll see you then.